Welcome to DeChain Daily News. We normally give you the headlines of the day on cryptocurrency and blockchain, but today we're just going to do a little Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis, and we'll come back tomorrow with the headlines. So we have Bitcoin trading right now at $20,106. I really just want to take a closer look. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and I like to tighten things up a bit just to get a sense of where we are. This is actually really interesting. This line, you can see this red line is today's price. You have it sitting right on top of previous strength from November of 2021. So that's really interesting because I would say the next strength level would be down here in the 12,000 range, 13,000 range that we saw back in August and July of 2020. So I'm happy to see it holding a bit. Let's go ahead and stretch it back out. We're going to take it down to a little bit tighter time or larger time frame. And you can see over the last month that Bitcoin really has just been sort of a little bit above, a little bit below, but sort of averaging out right in the region where we're sitting right now. So this is obviously a strong region, this $20,000 number. A lot of people are hoping to see it break and stay above this period. We could certainly start looking for an upward move right here, right? You draw this angle there and just say that maybe it's starting to move. In fact, I'm going to do it a little differently. We're going to do this as a channel and say maybe this is Bitcoin moving higher, right? Right about there. Now it's obviously a stretch as that's only, that's 2 days, 3 days worth of data right there that we're hoping for. So really is sort of a bit of a stretch. We can kick this out even further, but at the end of the day, no matter how you look at this, let's take it back to the daily data. So at the daily time frame, that little bit of that little bit of a channel truly is irrelevant, right? It's certainly been a rough period for Bitcoin, to say the least. But once again, I like the fact that it's sitting on top of support right now. It's hanging in there for that 20,000 region, and it's just been trying to stay strong. But you can see we've got a channel here, and we really have one here as well. So looking at it from that standpoint, I won't truly be convinced that we are entering another bull market or entering into even without saying a bull market, just a little period of higher prices until we break above this sort of 22,000 range, 21,800, and below this sort of 18,000. We'll call it 18,500. 600 kind of range here. The kicker here is that these are channels. When you're using technical analysis, use ranges rather than exact numbers. People get caught up in exact numbers, and they actually might achieve the move or understand rather than not understand. The market might give them the move that they've been looking for, but they won't recognize it because they're looking to be so precise. Technical analysis and any forecasting typically is not precise, but if you can get the direction right, you're batting 1,000. So right now with these flat channels, it's hard to say, is this market moving higher? Is it moving lower? And it's a tough one. But I do think in the interim, it's worth it to keep an eye out on what's going on, so that if we do break out of any of these performance channels, you'll be ready. Or I'll tell you what, if we get to 21,500, you're probably going to wait to see a true break of that channel rather than buying and risking losing another 2 grand, just like the people who bought here expecting Bitcoin to go higher. You know, they just lost 2 grand when this market dropped down lower, and they still have not fully recovered. So this is certainly, the volatility in these markets certainly is not for the faint of heart. I'm going to, let's see, I believe I can go ahead and let's see if I can just add. I want to add, nope, don't believe that worked. I was going to, where did it go? There we go. We're going to compare Ethereum, ETH, USD. Put it right on top of this chart to start off, just so we get a sense of, so this yellow chart is a statistical representation of Ethereum, meaning it's a percentage to see, like, from a percentage basis, are they moving alike? And you can see they're moving very similarly. You can actually tighten it up to where these charts are going to be just about on top of each other, but by and large, they're moving in the same direction and creating the same opportunity. So you might ask, how would you trade this? Well, one of the things that you can do is you can look to trade. I'm an option trader. You can look to trade options on these. So that might mean buying puts on one and selling puts on the other. Or it could mean, if you're only going to buy, it could mean buying puts on one of these and buying puts on one and buying call options on the other. So you sort of have a straddle across both assets. So the beauty of it is, if the markets do drop, well, the put that you have on is going to drop, and that'll make you some money. Or you could say, okay, well, I want to own call options. So you decide to buy call options on one of them. And as the markets go higher, considering how often these move right in sync, you know, then you make money on your call option too. So a couple different thoughts on how you can play that. There are a million different ways you can play it. Obviously, you can own the underlying outright. You can own the underlying and buy a put option. You can just you can buy puts and sell call options, depending on if you have the account size to be able to be allowed to put that trade on. So just depends. But here we are. The very similar analysis will be done over here with Ethereum. You can see we can draw pretty much the same little channel that we had on Bitcoin heading higher over the last few days. Applies to Ethereum as well. Let me tighten this up. That was just me turning this into a 30-minute chart. But you know, if I turn this into a 30-minute, I can actually extend that channel. We're going to do this here. We're going to pull it on down. That way it grabs a little more. I mean, look at that, huh? That's actually fairly optimistic on the 30-minute channel. So, you know, you've got this is Ethereum just kind of inching higher, but much like Bitcoin, I wouldn't trust it until you start to see the previous channels broken. So let's go ahead and take this back to the daily. So we're going to go to the daily. Man, whew, it's kind of crazy, eh? Pull that down. Open that one up again. Get a little more data on there. There we go. Don't have to tighten it up too much. Okay. All right. So what channels am I talking about? I'm talking about ultimately that one, which seems to be a little bit higher. But then, of course, you had this one over here, which was a little bit angled lower. So if you remember, both of these channels on the Bitcoin chart were actually flat. Here you have a downward channel that was occurring in an upward channel here. So that's part of the reason, if you look back at this, that's part of the reason why there is a separation between Ethereum's movement and Bitcoin's movement over the last month and a half or so, so 2 months. So yeah, that's really it for today. Waiting for a breakout of these just like everyone else. And if we get that breakout, it'll be fantastic. But I'm going to be very cautious not to get ahead of my skis, right? Don't get out over your skis, as they say, when trying to trade these right now. Let the market tell you where it's going. So like if I were buying Ethereum, I would wait until we cross that. I'd probably wait until we cross that 1,250 number. Like if we don't go above that, and I'd probably wait for it to stay above it for a few days before I try to assume that we've broken out of the last, like to assume that this is truly going to be an upward move. It wouldn't even be a bad thing if someone decided to go ahead and wait until we got, a lot closer to 2,000. Now, the only reason that would be a bad thing is that we're only at 1,100 now. So if you wait that long, you will have given up a lot of opportunity. But waiting for 1,250 just means that you're going to wait for the market to be up 10% from where it is now, right? So a 10% up move in the market, which we could see tomorrow, might give you the confidence that this market is going to continue going higher. Let's just shrink it down again really tight and see how this is going to be. Let me stretch this out. Still on Ethereum. See, I really do like this move higher that we saw on the 4th. Dropped off the beginning of the day on the 6th. But overall, we're seeing markets heading higher. This is good. Very good. So, and I can show you, this is a perfect little example. You've got this channel right here, right? Now, if every time that the market price got up here and you had to hold it until it went lower, you probably lost some money, or chances are you get down here and exit the trade and lose money when in fact you need to hold it. So what I'm suggesting is that you prepare for breakouts of those channels. So there was a breakout here, went higher, pulled back, went even higher, and stayed above. Now we obviously broke below that channel here. It probably would have been a good idea to exit here at the bottom of this little support, because there is a smaller intraday channel happening. Right, broke through that, and now, the next point that you want to see get broken in Ethereum really is this previous high of 1172. So all in, it's just a matter of using this sort of information as a guidepost, not as a direct map. This is a guidepost at best. These are not exact coordinates. But really, it's just to give you some insight to help you with your trading and to just get a sense of where the markets are right now. We kind of are in limbo for now, but we won't be here forever. So you just want to make sure that you are prepared when opportunity returns. Because one thing about these crypto markets is we definitely have seen cycles over the last, however long you've been trading crypto, chances are you've seen a downward cycle. They can last for a year or two, or they can last for a handful of months. So we already, if you look at this, been in a downward cycle since November, right? So here we are in July, that was 10 months ago. If we were to push back and start pushing higher again, that would be perfect. Some people are expecting the longer crypto winter. We'll see. I'm not going to predict that. I'm going to let the price take me there. In the meantime, I'm looking for smart trades to make just to make sure that I can keep making money in cryptocurrency. So I hope this helps you guys out. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching DeChain Daily, and we'll have a news show for you tomorrow morning. Take care.